Hello. Come right on in. You're at Father Fish. Nice to have you with us.
Joe Merchant has an interesting question. He says, I have a lava rock under the stream from my filter. I came across something that suggested against this. Would that be due to bacteria getting kicked up?
Yeah, he raised this issue yesterday, I think.
I don't think we addressed it. Yeah.
No, we didn't deal with it, and I was a little unclear about it, and I still am.
Okay.
My notion is that lava rock is not going to release bacteria.
Right.
It will host bacteria. It'll host nitrifying bacteria, for example, which will break down ammonia, and then and will break down nitrates into nitrates. There undoubtedly are other bacteria living in there, but I don't I don't know what I don't have any reason to believe that in and of itself the lava rock would harbor an excess of bacteria that would become a problem in the tank. Unless there was something in the lava rock that was deteriorating. But I don't even know how that could happen.
Well,
I mean, I suppose if you want to say something, Joe, go ahead.
Well, I do, because he's talking about the lava rock under his filter where the water's coming out and flowing over that rock, and somebody suggested that is bad. I just wanted to clarify the question a little bit more for you.
Okay.
That's all. That's why I was butting in. Sorry.
Somebody suggested it was bad.
Yeah, that extra flow of water coming off the filter, hitting that lava rock and going into the tank, that was bad. He's saying, is that because it's disturbing, or asking, is it because it's disturbing the bacteria? Do you think that's why they say it's bad? I think that's his question.
I would suggest this. I would suggest you ask that person if they believe a bare bottom tank is better than than any other kind of substrate in a tank. I would also ask them if they believe fish absolutely require water to live in. Okay? This is a person talking to you who talks before they think or before they understand what they're talking about. I was watching a video recently by one of our favorite videographers who punches out videos weekly for the sake of hits and gets astounding numbers of hits. I mean, really very astounding. And true to form, in the latest iteration of this videographer, he talked about certain kinds of plants. And he talked about it in a way that demonstrated he had no knowledge whatsoever of what he was talking about, because everything he said was either just basically wrong or somehow misinterpreted and misunderstood, which is probably 90%. And that may be high, but I think it's not unreasonable. Probably 90% of the so-called advice that's given online, I'm not just describing YouTube. I think, frankly, YouTube is in some ways one of the better sources of information, because it's easier to find people who really do know what they're talking about. But in general, If you go online to get information and you're not getting it from a university source or the like, it's probably going to be inaccurate. Inaccuracy seems to be the the operational mode of most people who consider themselves authorities about fish. And here's the problem. The problem is somebody can buy a fish tank and throw a bunch of rocks in their tank and put a couple of fish in their tank and start feeding it, kill them and then do it again, kill them and then do it again. And maybe by the third or fourth time, the fish actually live for a while. Too many of those people will consider themselves to be experts because they learned how to keep fish alive. And they'll begin giving advice. And their advice will be consistently, completely obtuse and ridiculous. So it matters who you pay attention to. Seek to discern the wisdom and the experience of the person you're talking to. If someone makes a comment like that, you might ask them, how long have you kept fish? And what kind of fish have you kept? And how long have you been able to keep them alive? And what do you feed your fish? In other words, get to know them a little better, to get to know whether they have even an inkling of what they're talking about. And don't be so quick to accept the word of somebody who simply makes a comment that may be based on nothing more than their wispy thoughts of the moment. Saying, for example, if you put a pile of rock underneath your filter and let the water flow over it, it's going to foul the tank. That's fundamentally absurd. Absurd. It's ridiculous. It's not based on anything. So, think about and try to understand what's being said to you before you swallow some story whole.
Well, I hope you found something you've never seen before. Have a great day. Nice to have you with us. Come on back.